and welcome to my YouTube channel. Or, if you've been here before, welcome back to my YouTube channel. What's been happening? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask. I set up the printer. Unfortunately, the files for setting it up kind of corrupted, and the bits that were left wouldn't have made a great video. You'd been bored to death, and I kind of think there are plenty of videos out there on how to set up the Chidi Plus 4. It's running. And I started using it. And the first thing I printed was a box for my wife. Sounds weird. She does craft stuff, and I thought, it's a little box handy, and she went, oh, can I have another one? So I printed two, and they're now stacked on top of each other. It was one standard off the Chidi's own settings. It was on there when I bought it, so I printed it in PLA, and it worked. The first time I ever printed, I got a perfect box. And it really is very good quality. So, I was impressed. I set it all up on a lovely new desk setup. So I think we can pause for a second and look at my actual 3D print setup. You can see the sundew whizzing away there. I'm actually quite impressed with this thus far, to be honest with you. I've got a magnetic rack here, where I put all the tools that I most need. I printed these. I forgot to tell you about that. Found these online, printed them, and as you can see, I've now got all my filament stored, or the filament I need handy to use, stored under the desk. That's my camera case. That's a 4-pack, 4 reels of PLA, a few tools, and of course, drawers with desiccant and everything else. I'm actually going to print desiccant things for inside my reels rather than putting these wee tablets in. I've got bags that you seal, you suck the air out of them, and of course, the necessary set of digital calipers. So, yeah, at the minute, that's my little desk. That's my area. I think it's quite tidy. So, how am I getting on? Well, you saw the box, right? So then I thought, okay, why don't I print some other stuff? So I did. I printed the box, as I said, is PLA. So I thought, well, I've mastered PLA. I've done a box. I shall try a mini plant pot in PETG. And that worked out pretty well. It overly stuck to the build plate and it left a little mark because I tried to take it off and it was too hot. However, it's a two-sided build plate. So lesson learned, don't try and take PETG off your build plate until it's cold. In fact, don't try and take anything off your build plate until it's down to about, from what I can gather, 30 odd degrees. So it has to have cooled. So that was good. Then I built this little stag thing. Printed this little stag thing. It's an ornament decoration for the wall. I printed my wife, and that was in PETG as well. Then I went back to PLA and I printed some brackets that my wife can put her rolls of laminate, I don't know what it's called, but rolls of stuff on. And then I started thinking, well, what do I need? So then I printed, I've got some stuff off to the side here. This. I'll put the link to whoever did it. I can't remember where I got the file, but it is in there somewhere. It holds my cables. It's just a little honeycomb cable thing. And I thought it was pretty cool because I always have these cables bundled in a drawer and it's a pain in the bum. And then I thought, I'm going to be a child and I'm going to print a TIE fighter. So I printed a TIE fighter. Now you notice it's in 2 parts. See, there's a TIE fighter. Because I printed it like that. And I thought, well, I could glue it together and, blah, blah, blah. I've not done anything with it yet. But I quite like it. I do quite like it. And I kind of thought it could be bookends. So I haven't done anything more with it. It was just ornamental and it was just to see how it would come out, really. So I did that. Then I realized that the Chidi or the Chidi Plus 4, the glass lid, when you're printing with ABS and higher temperature products, the glass lid has to be on to keep that chamber nice and warm so that you don't get massive thermal expansion and contraction and split your print. More on that later. But when you're doing ABS and PETG, you should have that lid off. Now, it's a pain in the bum having a lid off and sitting there. It always worries me having a glass lid sitting on the floor somewhere that I'm going to knock it, I'm going to break it. So I went online again. I'll pop the links down below if I can find them. And I'm printed out of PLA. Oh, was it ABS? No, it's matte, that's PLA. These things. And they go in each corner of the glass lid. I'll show you in a bit. They go in each corner of the glass lid and they hold it about that high off, giving it a full airflow. And I've printed it with PLA and PETG since, and it works perfectly. So I no longer have to have my glass lid lying about. Then I took to trying to do something myself. So the first thing I did was I took a design for, I had to resize it because the sizes were all wrong, for a 2.5 inch hard drive or SSD holder, which actually had SanDisk on the side of it, but obviously I can't do anything with that. I couldn't sell it. It had a commercial license. I couldn't sell it because SanDisk won't let me. So I took it back into FreeCAD, which is what I'm using at the minute because I can't afford the expensive stuff, and why would I? At the moment. And I removed that. And then I made these, I'm not going to pop them off. These are just clips. They clip on. You have to ping them off. So you slide your drive in, clip these on, covers it, holes in the back for the cables out. I've always been looking for things to put my spare 2.5 inch drives in. I've got loads of them. You know, when you take them out, laptops, PlayStations, whatever, Xboxes, and you're like, well, it's not dead. I can still use it for storage, but what do I do with it? And I hunted online for years for these and couldn't find one. But then I thought I can do better than that. So this one is one I actually designed from scratch, myself, and built. Look at that. I'm quite pleased with that. It's actually got drawers. And I don't know if you saw that when I showed you. It's actually got vented fronts. There's the big space in the back for the drive cables and everything to come out. And a vented front. And just a nice easy access space in the back for, again, the cables to come out. So I'm going to be selling this because at the end of the day, if I desperately needed it and couldn't find it anywhere, I'm pretty sure other people will find themselves in the same boat. Probably going to go on eBay with them. Not looking to make massive money. I'm only starting in it just now. I'm just looking to make a few pennies to make back the money that I'm spending on the various filaments, etc., glue, blah, 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 blah. So I potted around and I did a few more things. I've done so many bits and bobs, I can't remember. I've had a couple of failed prints. I had one when I was making the ball for something I designed that it turns out somebody very kindly, I can't remember who, on Blue Sky told me that sometimes the infill, if it's a narrow join point and it's a grade infill, it can knock the part. And that's what it did. The nozzle knocked the part. It wasn't adhering properly to the bed. And I ended up with spaghetti. I tend to keep an eye on my prints every 10 minutes, but every now and again. And I look at it on the phone on the app. I spotted it, ran through, so I didn't lose much filament. Yahoo! It was all good. Then I thought, well, I want to design something myself. I want to make something that is, I've done it with a little box, but I want to make something that's functional and useful for me. Now, I'm a motorcyclist and I have 4 helmets in my garage. And it's just a pain. I've nowhere to put them. And I bump around my garage and bang around. And I could have them on hooks in the wall. But if I'm under that sort of helmet and I come up with my shoulder, that could be 600, 800 pounds worth of helmet on the floor. And I would cry like a big baby. So I designed my own helmet holder, wall mount. And I designed it so that, this is almost an advert. I designed it so that you can put your chin strap on it. And this is the end product. It's a bit dusty in here. And it comes apart so it can be packed nice and easily. That goes on there. It's a honeycomb infill. You can probably see it if you get the sunlight on it. And these inserts. Now, I haven't decided what I'm doing with these inserts because I've got them in various colours. Do I? And maybe in the comments you could give me your thoughts. I like, if I've got a red helmet, I would like red inserts. If I have a blue helmet, blue inserts. I'm a colour coder. I'm a matcher. I'm one of those OCD kind of people. But other people are just like, I just want a helmet holder. I don't care. So do I make it so that these pieces are removable? And if you were to change your helmet and change your helmet colour and I thought, I've got a green helmet holder, but a red helmet now, it doesn't look right. Red and green should never be seen. Do I design it so that you can pop these out go on my eBay and buy a set of these in red and then pop them back in. So what do you think? Should I sell it with these fixed in, as in glued in place? Or should I sell it with them as removable and exchangeable? I'd appreciate thoughts on that. This slot here isn't a different shape just for fun. This slot here is actually designed so you can put your chin strap through it, and if you've got a really large buckle, you could actually take that off. The idea being, if you're like me and you knock it, oh, the helmet's fallen, but it's not going to hit the floor because the chin strap is actually attached to it. And I couldn't find that in any others that I was looking at when I was trying to buy one myself years ago. Now, problems. Did I have problems? Oh, yes, I did. This is what I'm going to use myself because the flaws on it actually are, I'll explain in a minute, in such a way that it's not going to affect the integrity of it. So one of my older helmets can go on it. But if you have a look, yeah, it warped. It warped badly off the bed at this end and at this end. So hence you can see splits through it. You can see adhesion problems all the way through it. I was quite disappointed when I came back and found this one. But what I was doing is I was running the bed at 90 degrees. And doing a bit of research, most people are saying, no, run the bed at 110 degrees and run it hotter on the first run to give it a good adhesion. Since then, for ABS, I run the bed at 110 degrees. I use Sunloo, which I'm going to change, I think, because some people have said their ABS isn't great. I use Sunloo ABS, and the first layer is 270 degrees out the nozzle, and the subsequent layers are 260, and I run the chamber temperature, the Curie, at 65 degrees. So yes, I have motored along, and now I am probably in one of the top 50 3D printers in the world. Okay, I'm not. I'm not going to Elon Musk and gaming about this. I'm not. But honestly, if you're looking to start 3D printing, that's how it makes you feel. When you've designed and made something yourself, you just feel amazing. So yeah, I mean, I'm learning as I go along. I'm enjoying learning as I go along, and I look forward to furthering that journey.